What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today we actually have quite a bit of Spider-Man No Way Home news. We have a cover of Spider-Man on the very front of Empire magazine, and on that front it says Multiverse and Old Villains. So of course we have to talk about that. Also, we seemingly know the runtime for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it has recently been revealed what the conversation looked like when Kevin Feige told Sony that Marvel Studios should produce the next Spider-Man movie, which of course was Spider-Man Homecoming. So as you can see, a ton to talk about and break down today. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest Spider-Man videos, and so you can enter our giveaway. We're giving away a really sweet Spider-Man figurine. All you gotta do to enter, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to Cosmic Culture. We'll link that in the pinned comment and description down below. Okay, so first thing that we have to talk about obviously is this cover, because it is absolutely insane. Not only do we get a pic of Spider-Man's new suit, but there is also so much going on in this cover. If you look to the right, we can obviously see a tentacle of Doc Ock. If you look to the left, we can obviously see a pumpkin bomb from the Green Goblin. And notice how that pumpkin bomb on the left actually has a little bit of a crack in it due to reality or its universe breaking. Obviously, the Green Goblin that we are getting is heavily rumored to be Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. It's pretty much all but confirmed at this point in time, so obviously Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin comes from a different universe. In fact, as far as we know so far, all of these villains are going to be coming from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe and the Amazing Spider-Man universe, which is why the entire background pretty much looks like a broken universe or a broken reality. Now in the top right we can actually see some lightning, and this is probably for Jamie Foxx's Electro, since he himself has pretty much confirmed that he is indeed coming back in this movie. Also, if you take a look at the bottom left, that definitely looks like sand for Sandman. Now originally I thought that yellow line going down at the bottom was initially a lightning bolt, but now I don't really think that's the case. I actually think that this could be a timeline. It kind of looks like a timeline that the Ancient One showed Professor Hulk in Avengers Endgame. And since we are dealing with the multiverse and different realities, and Doctor Strange is obviously one of the main characters of this film, this could perhaps be something very similar. It also very much looks like some of the magic that Doctor Strange uses when he performs the spell to try and erase the memory of Peter Parker from the world. It looks a lot like the rings that surrounded Doctor Strange and Peter Parker when he did that spell. And if you actually look right under where it says Spider-Man No Way Home, it says Old Foes, New Suits, No Rules. Marvel's Multiverse Madness begins. And we can obviously see the multiverse tease in this photo again, with the shattered reality in the background and all of the villains coming out from that reality. And I love how it puts Old Foes right there on the cover, and it shows the pumpkin bomb and the Doc Ock tentacle, putting it right out there, right in front for the entire world to see. Now of course in the trailer we finally saw Doc Ock. We did not see Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, but we did see the pumpkin bomb, which is shown here, and we didn't really see the other villains, which is why the sand for Sandman and the lightning for Electro aren't so prominent in this cover, but they are there. Now the other two villains, they kind of haven't really revealed yet. We believe one to be the Lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and we believe the other to be Rhino, also from the Amazing Spider-Man universe. But they've actually kept a pretty tight lid on this, and the villain that we saw in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that comes up from behind on Peter Parker is very hard to make out. A lot of people think that it could actually be Venom, especially since these villains are shrouded in so much mystery at this point in time. But that's something we'll have to wait just a little bit longer to find out. Now of course, obviously what most people will initially notice about this is Spider-Man's new suit, and it looks pretty dang good. Now remember, Spider-Man is going to actually get a couple of new suits at the very least in Spider-Man No Way Home. We know he's going to get an integrated suit, but we also know he's going to get some type of magical suit as well that Doctor Strange gives him or enchants. Or both, I guess. Now they did release another poster as well. It's an alternate poster for subscribers to Empire magazine. It's definitely more of an artistic cover, it's definitely art, but what's interesting about this one is that in the middle it shows Spider-Man's face, and it kind of shows a bunch of other faces kind of going down into a web. Now obviously what I want to say is that this kind of stands for multiple different Spider-Men. I think most people know that I obviously believe that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man are going to be in the film, and I would love to say that this is kind of hinting at that, but I actually just think it's kind of an artistic photo, and that's a really cool design that they did. But you never know, and this does kind of focus on the other Universal villains. We can see the Doc Ock tentacles, we can see Sandman's fist actually coming out, we can see a pumpkin bomb, and I can actually see the Eye of Agamotto, and it looks like it actually has the Time Stone in it, which is rather interesting considering the fact that Doctor Strange should not have a Time Stone right now because it was destroyed in Avengers Endgame. I think, needless to say, things are about to get pretty crazy in Spider-Man No Way Home, and this is going to be the true start of the multiverse breaking into madness. I mean, they're advertising it right on the front cover of Empire magazine. And I love how it says old foes. It seems like we're just diving into it a little bit more right now, which hopefully means with the release of this and the advertisement of old villains, we could be getting the trailer relatively soon. I know insiders have said 2 to 3 weeks, and hopefully it's 2 weeks, and that's not much longer we have to wait. And since they released these covers, that's a pretty good sign. And hopefully the tease of old villains also means that we could be getting the tease of old Spider-Man in the next trailer. So hopefully we get all of that very, very soon. Now, according to Daniel Richman and according to Big Screen Leaks, we seemingly know what the runtime of Spider-Man No Way Home could possibly be. Big Screen Leaks came out and tweeted today and said the tentative runtime for Spider-Man No Way Home is 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 55 seconds, but they did also say this will probably change as it's from an early cut of the film. Daniel RPK then came out and said, for real though, I'm hearing it's around 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm assuming that that's kind of what their goal is. That's what Sony and Marvel are aiming for, a 2.5 hour movie, which is fantastic news because if you have a movie that's going to have 6 villains, the Sinister Six, and they're from other universes and other Spider-Men from other universes, you're gonna need some time to explain that. Plus, you're still gonna want to focus on Tom Holland's Spider-Man and his individual story because it is his franchise, it is his movie still. And obviously, I could deal with a 4-hour Spider-Man movie. I think fans would really like a really long movie, which is kind of what we're getting here at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, something I want to briefly touch on because I want to do an entire video about this, but it's really cool. It was recently revealed what the conversation between Kevin Feige and Sony looked like. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, the true GOAT, sat down with Amy Pascal, a producer for Spider-Man No Way Home, and talked about what the future was going to look like. Originally, they were going to make an Amazing Spider-Man 3. We know that Andrew Garfield was supposed to get another movie. Tobey was also supposed to get a Spider-Man 4, but that's neither here nor there. But Kevin Feige basically shut that down and basically brought Tom Holland's Spider-Man, a new Spider-Man, into the MCU. Now, really, what this in turn did is cancel Spider-Man 3, the Amazing Spider-Man 3 that is, which is really interesting, but Kevin Feige clearly had a plan that Sony agreed with. But obviously Feige had a better plan because what they went with was Feige's plan, a whole entire new Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man that exists in the MCU. And it worked. It was the first Spider-Man movie to make $1 billion. But I think there's more to it than that. Since they were going to use Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man for the Amazing Spider-Man 3, I think the idea of having a Spider-Verse and having him show up for a Spider-Verse film was really easy. I think that was an easy decision for both studios. Since they wanted Andrew back for an Amazing Spider-Man 3 but didn't get that, why not bring him in for the Spider-Verse film? To me, this is definitely a little bit more evidence that hints towards Andrew Garfield being in the movie, but as I've mentioned, I 100% believe he is going to 100% be in the film, even though he says he's not the werewolf. But let me know what you think about all of this, the new covers of Empire magazine, the runtime, and the conversation between Kevin Feige and Sony making a new Spider-Man. Leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.